Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots, and with me this week is Kyle Lewis. Kyle, how you doing?
What's going on, everybody? It's the day. We're here.
This is a
This
big
is
one.
it.
Before we get into the event itself and everything, and even like current events, right on the top of your head, who was right in the situation, Vince or Brett?
I still say Brett. Like I
You
know it's
still
hard to say. I still say Brett. I think Bret Hart has did enough for Vince and WWE. Like it's not a Lunger Blaze or a Lex Luger situation where Lunger Blaze was only there for like a year and wasn't pushed, and Lex Luger was there for 2 years and didn't get his promises. Bret Hart was as loyal of a wrestler as you could be next to the Undertaker. So while it may not have worked out creatively, I think you could you could have owed the person that kind of respect, which is also why I'm not a businessman because I probably would have tanked the WWE if if he did owe Bret Hart the respect.
See, I used to think Brett was right. Now that it's like 30 years removed, and I think that Vince was right. And I'll tell you why. It's that there is, it's not my money, right? It's his money, not
Yeah,
public. There's a real danger of him going under. He's financing this thing that this giant corporation is kicking his ass against. And he saw what happened to Vern Gagne, and he saw because he did it to these guys.
yeah,
Saw what happened to these guys, and he knows when he's done, he's done. Like if the WWF went under in like 2000, he's probably gonna like I don't know. He's probably gonna like start like a bodybuilding. He's gonna be doing all these goofy things no one's gonna care about. People are gonna be like, "Remember
yeah.
that man guy?" Like, who cares? So, I think he has a guy that I don't think anyone expects. But he has a guy that he knows is gonna be the next big thing, which is Steve Austin, and he has a goal to get to WrestleMania and get the belt on Austin. I also think when all this stuff with Bret Hart's going down, he also knows that he has Mike Tyson, which is I think he was trying to free up money from Mike Tyson, which is why what I'm saying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So he has these things like, oh, if I can get to this, I can probably come back. But I need to like I see it this way, and I kind of feel like Brett. I mean, I stopped watching WWF after Brett got the title, and I know a lot of other people did too. And no one came back for him or Sean. And I think he's like, Brett, I need you to get over Sean, so Sean get over Austin, so I can get you two the fuck out of here, and I can start making money again. And I think that you, if that's your business, and his business plan was successful, I mean, look where we are now. Triple H just brags about how much money they make every 20 seconds. So he's not
Largest gate,
involved. What?
the largest gate when he gets to the press conferences.
Yeah, every press conference is the largest gate. But people, I'm sure he would say he cares about this. I don't know if he cares about this, but this part is true. There's people who have been working there now at that point for 17 years that could lose their jobs if this place goes under. That happened to people in WCW. It happened to Tony Schiavone. So
Absolutely.
he's got to think my what is my best course of action, and I think his best course it was his best course of action, doing the screw job, turning himself into a character, and pushing Austin and then The Rock. But he doesn't know that The Rock's going to become The Rock. All he knows is, and he's still scrambling. I mean, he offers both Hogan and Ultimate Warrior contracts
Yeah.
after Hart leaves.
I don't know what it was. It was after Bret Hart left. He did that.
He offered Ultimate Warrior a big contract.
Yeah, that
It,
one I knew. I heard like when Macho Man like had like a falling out with WWE, they were thinking about him or Ric Flair, and I think I heard Hogan too. Like, I guess I don't know what he was thinking.
yeah, but well,
A lot of
Hogan
panic mode.
Hogan basically so Hogan resigned in '98.
Hmm.
That the contract goes in the Bash of the Beach, and Vince Russo breaks that contract left and right. Or what he when we'll get into that later. But Hogan met with Vince, and I think the plan was if Hogan signed, he would job to Austin at WrestleMania. You know,
That wasn't happening. Yeah.
and but also if Hogan comes over, you need to, no matter what. Like okay, so let's say Hogan signs. So you need Hogan to beat Michaels, and then Austin beats Hogan. Now maybe you don't, but also you need to get the belt on Hogan. So Hogan has to beat Michaels. If Bret Hart just throws the belt in the air and like Hogan just shows up and like takes it or whatever, it's not as effective as everyone losing in a row to get all. I think the ultimate goal is someone's got to put over Austin, right?
Hmm.
And it just wasn't going to work with Vader. It wasn't going to work with Steve Blackman. It wasn't going to work with Goldust, Mankind, Undertaker, Kane. Everything was in place, and I get that Bret Hart didn't want to lose this guy because of personal issues, and I get that. But at the end of the day, Bret Hart was going to be taken care of, at least in theory, for a while, and there's no guarantee that Vince McMahon is going to be taken care of. And you have to worry about that. And again, I'm not saying he's a good person. I think it's a scum. The way he did it was scumbaggy. But I
Hmm.
think that you got to do what you got to do, and he had to. He had to. I think sometimes in business you have to fuck someone over. You have to. It's in politics and business, and a lot of people don't have that in them. I don't think I had that in them to do something like that to a guy like Bret Hart.
Hmm.
But I think he had to do it. I think he had to do it, and I think it was the right move. Look at all the people that became millionaires because of the Attitude Era. Look at the
Yeah.
lives everyone's been able to. He had to do it, and there's people who still work there to this day, and yeah, they didn't like what. I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's a lot at stake right now because I do all because the other thing too, Kyle. All they gotta do is have Sting beat Hogan, and that's coming up in a month.
Yeah. I mean, WCW, even with all this happening, WCW had a big layup that they and they missed, which we'll
Yeah,
talk about in a couple weeks. But
yeah,
they
like,
it was a straight layup and they just missed it.
and they just missed it. But like, it was so like easy to do, and so I kind of feel, and again, I like Bret Hart a lot more than Vince, but I kind of feel that he had no other choice but to do this. And I think that if Bret laid down for Shawn Michaels, like willingly, like he didn't complain, I do
Hmm.
think that Vince might have even gave him a bonus that night. I mean, like, you know what I mean? I think that like he would have like taken care of him and taken care
Yeah.
of Owen, taken care of Davey. Like I think he would have. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you saw this. Well, you did see it. You watched the show. Davey Boy Smith is made to look really good in the match he has. It doesn't look like a
Yeah.
guy they're giving up on. So I wouldn't be surprised if Brett in the middle of the show was like, "I'll lie down for Shawn Michaels. Don't worry about it." I wouldn't be surprised if, as a reward, Owen and British Bulldog get like a huge push into 1998, like to be like, "All right, I'm gonna take care of your family because you're taking care of mine." And while he's in WCW, and Bret Hart has guaranteed money. Nobody in WWE, including Vince McMahon, has anything guaranteed. You could say Vince is a billionaire. He's not a billionaire yet. A millionaire at that point. He's this, that, and the third. So was Vern, and he died in a fucking nursing home. So.
Hmm. Which Vince did not want for himself.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is that's why it's one of these things that is constantly debated for a reason. Like why, like would you do that? I know Bret Hart's reasonings was he I think he told Sean he was gonna like take care of him in the ring, and Sean was like, I was not willing to do the same thing to you, and that was Bret Hart's like final straw with that. Like Sean was just like a dick to him for the last time, and he would not budge. And then the multiple people who take credit for it, Russo, Triple H, Vince, Gerald Briscoe, like just many, many
Right.
different stories and different other people. I just heard one from Bradshaw last week about he saw like the Hebners getting the bags. Like Dave Hebner, Earl told Dave to get the bags like as the match started, and JBL was just like what's going on, Dave? Everything's all right, and like he's like yeah, it's fine. So like they like to get the bags and bolt as soon as the match was over, and Bradshaw already left because they had to go like the next town. Ottawa was like 5 hours away or something like that. So like there's many different versions of this,
Mhm.
different movies, different documentaries. It's
I mean, I
insane.
get, I get that they don't like each other personally, and I get it, and I get why Bret Hart. But also at the same time, it's like, yeah, but they still have to work with Sean. Like Sean is still going to be in his company, and we've
Yeah.
got to use. you can't deny that he's at the top of his game right now. We've got to use that to our advantage. Like we can't have you make Shawn Michaels look fucking stupid and then leave. Like it just that's not that can't happen. Now,
Well, was
and
he
like
willing to? Wasn't he willing to drop it like just not in Canada? Like he would have dropped it to Sean like on a
well,
Raw.
I think he would have dropped it to anybody but Shawn,
Anybody
and
but Sean.
I don't think he would have dropped it to Shawn on a like the Raw the week before. I don't think he'd want to. He said he would even drop it to the Brooklyn Brawler, and Bruce Pritchard go, "What good is that going to do?" Like that you, I don't think like what like because and then Bruce Pritchard was like, "I guarantee you, if I went to him, okay, tonight on Raw, you're going to drop the belt to the Brooklyn Brawler." Bret Hart would have been like, "You're going to like devalue this title by giving it to the Brooklyn Brawler." I'm not going to do that. Like he would have said like no, like if they actually just said like
Yeah, they called his bluff.
yeah, you're gonna lose if I miss Brooklyn Brawler. Like you're like, no, that's gonna ruin my reputation. Like I'm not
Maybe
gonna do
that's what I did. When was it? I went to one of those shows in the Garden, and it might have been the Christmas show. There was a
it.
battle royal, and
Brooklyn
Shawn
Brawler.
Michaels fought the Brooklyn Brawler for
It
the
was right.
WWE Championship. Yeah,
Yeah, it's on the Shawn Michaels. Yeah. I
yeah,
remember
that
reading
may,
about that. I think to prove a point to Brett, like you were not.
yeah, maybe they did that on the house because like the anvil comes. They play Brett's music, and the anvil comes out, and they like super kick him and like beat the shit out of him or something like that.
Yeah,
Or is that on Raw? I can't remember.
that was on Raw. The Brooklyn Brawler thing was a house show. He won
Okay,
a he.
they definitely played Brett's music on that house show at some point.
Yeah, it just but it's like I get it. I get like okay, that's great that you're willing to like lose to the Brooklyn Brawler or Bradshaw or something. That's great. But at the same time, no one's ready for that push. And that's gonna like if like Bradshaw, like say like Bradshaw, let's say like if this show starts and Bradshaw pins Bret Hart. Now you got to get off Bradshaw. But also if Bradshaw loses the title, right, it kind of hurts him right off the bat, and he doesn't become JBL. So like all these scenarios, I don't think benefit anyone. Now would Bradshaw have been like, yeah, I'll be Bret for the belt? That's fucking great. Like yeah, he'd be crying.
Yeah.
But ultimately, that's not going to help him. It's going to be like they had to give it to Bradshaw because Brett and Sean couldn't get along. Like there's a lot of ways you could go, but nobody was ready. Like I'm looking at nobody's ready. Like Mosh,
No, it's not gonna be Mosh.
but
Was it
the
gonna be
Rock. I mean,
Kane? The
even if the
Rock
Rock
was.
beats him or Kane, it's just you because you can't do Kane. You can't do Kane Austin. You can't do Mankind Austin at WrestleMania. It's just like it's not going to have the same effect. And Triple H, he would not have lost to Triple H.
Mm-mm.
It just would make everyone look bad. Whoever beat him would make them look bad. And
Unless they made Bulldog look like a monster.
yeah,
And
and
like he would have to like destroy like turn the Hart Foundation would have to like jump Brett. Bulldog would be or Bulldog takes out both Brett and Owen. Might have been too little too late for that.
yeah, so it's
But
just like what and what he wanted to do, which is there's a double DQ, which I don't think the fans would have liked. And then Brett goes on the next night, says goodbye to everybody, and gets this emotional farewell. That doesn't benefit anybody. Can you imagine if CM Punk instead of like went on Collision and said goodbye and I'll see you in WWE and I love AEW, but I get like how does that benefit AEW? How does that benefit anybody? The only it doesn't benefit it benefits you because then everyone's gonna go turn on the next show to watch you in the new company, but it doesn't benefit what I'm saying? Like it
no,
doesn't
you're
benefit.
absolutely right. It's yeah, it just benefits Bret Hart 100%.
Yeah, it doesn't
And
benefit.
then it shows that like, hey, the rest of the roster could not beat this guy, and now they have to go for a secondary belt pretty much because he's gone.
Yeah, it's just like that doesn't work, and it's like, dude, it's like it just it's like this company's fucked, and the company's fucked because they believed in you. That's the other thing. Like, I love Bret Hart. I love rewatching his matches, but I wasn't watching live at the time, and a lot of other kids weren't, and they got kicked off Fox 5 because the ratings stunk. Like, come on, man. Like,
That's what
it
I
got
just started too.
yeah. So it's like I feel bad for Bret, and I really, but I do think WWF needed they need like almost like a human sacrifice. They needed to sacrifice someone like Satan himself. Like Satan had to have a sacrifice, and it was Bret Hart.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, it sucks. As a big Bret Hart fan, as someone who is not a fan of how it went down, I think it's just one of those. I know they say it a lot with Spider-Man because of Into the Spider-Verse canon events that just had to happen for
Mhm.
everything to be the way it was. At least in the WWE. WCW didn't have to tank the way it did. They just fumbled. But for
And you know,
WWE to be the WWE they are today, this specific event had to happen. So then you get to the Tyson, Austin, Michaels, Undertaker, Kane, Mankind reinventing themselves. The whole, all of it, attitude, pretty much.
Rock, all of it happens for
Rock,
this.
Triple H, all of it.
And it all worked out because now Triple H stands in the middle of the ring while John Cena's supposed to be saying goodbye to people.
Oh
But
yeah, gotta love them, right?
I noticed Triple H doesn't want the spotlight on at Survivor Series until the very end. When there's a possibility he might get his ass beat, he fucking hides. He's not in the center of the ring, fucking jumping up
Well,
and down.
he can't take bumps.
No,
Can't
I'm
get
talking
hurt.
about in this show, Survivor Series 97.
Oh, Survivor Series. Oh, I think you meant life.
He's like hiding in a broom closet the whole night.
Yeah.
When something real's about to happen, that guy fucking vanishes. What you call it? What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else about this whole situation. And but here's the other thing, man. It's like even with this happening, this could have been seen as a mistake if they gave Bret Hart the push he was meant to be given.
hmm
So like the minute they get Bret Hart, they have buyer's remorse, and you have such a good built-in storyline. You have such a good baby face. You can get the people behind with Bret Hart and really feel about being screwed and there's so much to do and like almost like make Hogan the proxy for Vince. Like you're the first person who screwed me. You wouldn't believe
Yeah.
fucking coming for you. And you build to Hogan Brett at like Bash at the Beach or Starcade and they do nothing with it. So it's like even if Vince does everything right, they still could have lost. Because and they just fuck up Brett. It's like they just get handed a golden goose and they fuck it
Two.
into
Two of them. Because
yeah.
you had Sting. Sting should have just won. No slow count, fast count, Bret Hart, screw job, jab. Sting should have just won. Just like Sting does. Sting should have just came back, beat the bad guy, and won. You don't see the
And
NWO for a while. They
I
come
think
back
if
strong.
I think if Bischoff, yeah, you're right. Yes, yes. I think if Bischoff booked Bret Hart correctly, he would right now be like not still talking about the Montreal screw job, but because Bischoff and Russo completely booked him like shit, and now Eric Bischoff's going on about how he stinks and how he wish he didn't sign him. And he sees the success that Vince and Triple H went on to have. I mean, Triple H is still living off that success to this day. I think that's made Bret Hart very bitter. I think again, if WCW was a big success, he wouldn't be talking. He'd be like, I'm glad Vince screwed me, you know?
Yeah, no, if it worked out, he'd be have a different tone. I mean, his career ended. Like that's not the way he wanted his career to end. His
Yeah.
career ended with initially the kick to the head, and then just multiple more bumps to the head. They had him doing like hardcore matches in 2000, and like he had a concussion. And according to the book, I remember he couldn't remember telling somebody like no, so they just come back around and ask him again, and then it just got to the point where he couldn't wrestle anymore, and that the accident didn't help either. I don't, who knows 10 years down the line if he didn't have the accident, the motorcycle accident, if we have Bret Hart in a Royal Rumble or something.
So
But
he was on a regular bike when he had the accident.
oh well, yeah, what on a regular bike. But if he did not have that accident, maybe he would have had the Edge treatment where he's in Royal Rumble 2010 and his head is clearer and better. And we don't know. It's an alternate universe that knows.
Yeah, and they're not telling us. So
World War III is still going on in the wrestling version.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think even if they beat WWF, they would have dropped that because that was a pretty shitty fucking,
Yeah,
that was
they
not a
drop
good.
it eventually.
Yeah, that was not a good fucking pay per view idea. But speaking of not good pay per view ideas, overall, what did you think of the show though? Besides the screw job,
It was fine. I think I was more anticipating the match. So everything else, well, with exception of the Truth Commission and DOA, everything else was pretty passable. I didn't think Austin. You forget that sometimes the stunner is just like one and done. Because I thought like I didn't think the match would have ended that quickly with Owen and Austin. It felt quick, but Kane and Mankind surprised me too. But the elimination matches were just like, all right, cool.
Yeah, it's overall like it gets the job done of what it's supposed to do, which is basically move the chess pieces forward. But it's not that great of a show. There are some good moments and there are some impressive performances. The one thing I will say about the show over the current WWE product is in under 3 hours they have 7 matches with like 38 wrestlers and they give everyone a chance to shine, which now it's like they don't know how to do. It's like you have 5 matches
No.
that all go really long and no one gets over. But
Yeah, on the five match thing, sometimes it's six now. But the five match thing is it's too much. And Survivor Series, I mean, this week they just made the most lopsided War Games matches I've probably ever seen with
uh,
Punk, Jay, and Cody now just in the War Games
mhm.
against the Bronsons and Logan Paul, and I'm just like, okay, the women's one makes a little more sense, but that's also kind of all over the place. But there used to be a little bit more planning to some of this stuff.
Yeah, now it's like whatever. They're not doing any planning anymore. Planning is over. All right. So let's get into this show. Let's get into the show proper. The video package, it's one of my favorite video packages because it really gets over how much these two don't like each other. It
Hmm.
really gets over like that this has been building for months. And it makes it feel like this is a very urgent feud. This is a very urgent match. This is the end of an era. I like these. I like this video package where it's like it doesn't even matter. This is Survivor Series. Nothing else in this card matters. What matters is this feud. Like this is why you're here. And I wish they would go back to this. Like it's really, you know how interesting it would be for WrestleMania to not start this year with this is such a great event. We made so much money to like a video package of like whatever the grudge match is. I'm gonna throw out two names: Cody versus CM Punk, and it's just them
Hmm.
yelling at each other and trying to kill each other. And then you kick off WrestleMania like, you know what? This feud is so intense. Who cares that it's WrestleMania? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would be so cool because this video package it gets you hyped for the event for the match, but it's not about how fucking well WWF is doing, or even how bad. I don't. I like it. What did you think?
No, that was a good video package. It went through their history from at least from the mid '90s, like when they were both at their top to now, and they definitely just showcased how much these two, like you said, don't like each other. And if you're a fan, just a fan watching casually, you're like, I get it. If you knew the extra, they really don't like each other, you're like, I get it. So it's almost like a best of both worlds for if you're a fan, if you're a smarter fan.
Yeah, no, it was really cool and good way to kick things off for the show. Speaking of kicking things off, it's already feeling a different world even a month ago. We have our first Survivor Series match: the Headbangers and the New Blackjacks versus the Evil Godwins, and they're not called the New Age Outlaws yet. They come out to silence. Road Dogg and Badass Billy Gunn. And these guys feel fucking reborn walking out. They are not the same guys. And it's like, wow, this is a whole different persona. They got it right away. Road Dogg has a lot of confidence compared to where he's been the last few times we've seen him on these pay-per-views. Same thing with Billy Gunn. The last time we saw him, he was Rockabilly. Uh, the match was, I thought, okay. I will say the few moments they gave Bradshaw, he looked very impressive. You could definitely see why they wanted to give belt to this guy. But the Outlaws was it the best match work rate rise? No, but the Outlaws I thought really like showed exactly what they're capable of. What did you think? And I thought it was like a great first impression if you're watching some pay per view of the New Age Outlaws. What did you think?
No, I thought it was a good impression for them. I remember seeing it on Super Shotgun when they like became a team because I liked both guys. So to see them become a team and then start to like have this character wear the South Park shirts eventually and kind of be like the cool guys, even though they're like 30 something. But I thought it was good for them. They get like the final fall, don't they?
Yeah, they win.
Yeah, so it's a good push in the right direction for the New Age Outlaws. And this is letting you know these guys are here to stay. They haven't figured it out yet, The whole you didn't know and the whole gimmick yet, but they're here to stay, and it was a great outing for the two of them.
Yeah, man. I really this was a nice start to the show. Wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst. Everyone just got their shit in, and that's it. All right. Next up, Truth Commission versus Disciples of Apocalypse, and this match was interesting to me
I
because
shouldn't blow into the mic. That's all right.
this match was interesting to me because first of all, Don Callis is basically doing the same shit in '97 he's doing today. It's almost like the same commentary, just talking over Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler. But the funniest thing about him, and it's because we're so like used to WWE, no one doing this. He doesn't look at the hard camera when he comes into the ring. He's constantly the other post. He's constantly like just like preening and posing and yelling. He's not doing any of it to the hard camera, and I just know Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn in the back, probably like this fucking guy is not once on the hard camera. What is he doing? Like he's like running around like an idiot, and he's not like I don't know if anyone told him you have to do things to the hard camera because the rest of the crew was doing that, and he wasn't. And the commentary was just very dull. I thought this match stunk. This was the worst match on the show. Truth Commission was a horrible gimmick, but man, I get why they didn't like the Jackal Don Callis, but and also when you hear him talk in '97 now, you realize like he doesn't really have that much under the tank. He doesn't have that much. He really is like a one trick pony when it comes to his promos and stuff. Because it's almost the same thing like he does in AEW. What did you think?
No, I don't like him in AEW, so it
I don't
was
like him
just like
either.
watch him in WWE, and I get it. He's a heel. You're not supposed to like him. Blah 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 blah. I I get upset when I see them. Like it does not make me want to watch Adam Page beat them up, Orange Cassidy beat them up. It doesn't make me want to see Okada turn on them. I hear that brown noise and he walks out. I lose interest personally. But
Yeah,
that's just me when he's in the AEW. And I lost interest in this. I remember liking at least Kurgan and Jacko when I was younger. I just thought they looked cool. But this match was not it. I don't know what was going on. But woof. I don't
he
it's just
doesn't
bad. Just bad all around.
he doesn't know how to get the person he's with over. And people in AEW can say that they are, they're not. When Kurgan wins, he doesn't go near Kurgan. He runs in the ring. He does the well, like my guy won, we won, right? And then he's just
Hmm.
running around, basically celebrating himself, and Kurgan's just standing there. And it's like he should have been all about look at Kurgan, look at Kurgan, look at Kurgan, and he's not. And
Yeah. Kirk is a big time actor now. Kirk has been in some movies.
yeah, but Kurgan's like that's how you're gonna get over by getting Kurgan over. And
Yeah.
he's not doing it. And it's like he doesn't do it now. He always is just about getting himself over. That's all
Yeah.
he's about. He's not about other people. And the fact that he has like Okada, he has all these people in the family. No one ever gets revenge on him when he gets kicked out. He just go. It's
I think
just
because he got hit that one time and it sliced his head open. So he doesn't take any more bumps.
well, then he shouldn't be on TV because the whole point of the guy like him is to take bumps. And
He
he's
also
just,
doesn't wear socks, and that's weird.
what's so funny? Bradshaw talked about like him about why the acolytes didn't last him, and he goes because he would just talk about himself. And finally, Ron Simmons and Bradshaw were like, "You got to talk about us. You don't talk about us." And
Yeah.
Don Callis was like, "Okay." And JBL was very diplomatic. JBL was like, "No, he does great in AEW. I'm just saying he doesn't talk about us." And he did it again. And then Bradshaw, Farouk and Bradshaw basically went, "This guy doesn't talk about us. He just talks about himself. He never puts us over. Doesn't. It's like we don't even exist." And Vince was like, "Say no more. I don't. I'm gonna get rid of him. That's it."
I'll get rid of him. He's gone.
I see that here. He's not. It's not a good. I mean, it's not a good match. I mean, yeah, okay, you could just argue they gave him nothing to work with, but that's not the point. The point is you're supposed to get it over. You're on national TV. Your job is to get it over, and instead you're
So
just
she has the manager. Yeah.
you're running around
I
like a
don't.
fuck.
I don't think anybody would say that. Like, I don't think anyone would say that was a good match.
No,
I
that
think
was
that was
that.
one of the top 10, like, probably worst matches in Survivor Series history.
That was like the type of match when I started rewatching WWF in '98. They would have a match like that where it would be like Recon versus like Mosh. and I would just be like, how are they going to beat WCW? Like,
It's Ultimate Dragon's on right now.
but
Ultimate Dragon's on the other channel. You got Recon versus Mosh.
yeah, like this is they're in such a dire position. I don't know how they're ever going to come back. And the fact that they did it, because it's like the fact that this match had to take place to fill up the card is like just like wow, you have nothing to work with,
Hmm.
and you made a comeback. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, next up, Stone Cold Steve Austin is in the AOL chat room, probably hitting on some young girls. Maybe not. He's not Jerry Lawler, but he cuts a good promo. It is kind of funny to see Austin though still advertising America Online while being like, "I'm gonna whoop Owen Hart's ass." What did you think of this little moment?
Just a nice little flashback. I remember always wanting to be in those chats. When I was younger, Mark Merrill, the actual Mark Merrill, used to come into the WWE chats, and he like, while he was injured, he'd be like, "Hey guys, it's the Wild Man." Like it was like WWF Mark Merrill or something, and like the moderator was like, "Yeah, it's actually him," and he would just come into the chats and like hang out with fans, which I remember being cool. So I always wanted that to happen again, but it just brought me back to my paying too much for internet days. Still paying too much for internet.
I know, yeah. So next up, we have Team USA versus Team Canada. Patriot was supposed to be in this team, and he was taken out, replaced by Steve Blackman, who they position as a fan, who came to sing Vader, and now he's a wrestler. He's a martial artist. Fun fact about Steve Blackman: he was supposed to debut in 1989,
Hmm.
and he got a very bad disease, and it took him a while to recover. So, like, this guy was supposed to be here during the Hogan era as like a martial arts guy, and finally he's here. I think he fits more in with this era anyway. And I don't know. Maybe if he showed up in '89, I would think differently. But this seems more like his era, '97.
I agree.
So the one thing to pay attention to is Goldust is not really interacting with the rest of Team USA. So we get to the match. The match starts. It's a weird match because Vader is like the only face, and he's not a good face, and Mark Merrill's doing a character change, and it's a weird character change. He finally looks like a guy. I mean, it's just the way it is. He
No
doesn't look like
more
a
Little Richard.
yeah, no more Little Richard. He looks completely different. Goldust is dressed like a weirdo, but he's not interacting, and Steve Blackman's kind of new. So most of the match is like Vader and the Bulldog. The fans are loving it. I was very impressed with British Bulldog's match. He looked great. I don't know why I had in my head that him and Jim Neidhart looked horrible this night and were made to look stupid. They're not. They're made to look really good, and British Bulldog wins. He gets a huge crowd. Um, but he gets a huge pop. I'm sorry, but this is it. This is he's never taken seriously again in wrestling. This is like his final match where he's positioned as a legit star, and then that's it. And I thought it was interesting. The Gold Dust stuff to me is intriguing. But yeah, it was a weird match. But it wasn't what I remember it being. What'd you think?
No, I thought it was a weird match. I mean, you got a mixed match team of faces, and on top of that, Doug Furness, Phil Levon, while great technical in the ring, not the most exciting people to watch in the WWE at least. Maybe in ECW, I think they had a couple better matches, were more suited for their style. ECW, All Japan, but in the WWE, that is not the style of wrestling that we are used to, which are more used to sports entertainment. They have the sport, but they are not very entertaining. You okay?
Yeah, it was a weird match. It's just a weird like dynamic because it's like you have a bunch of people who aren't. Again, a lot of these matches have people that aren't over mixed with people who are over.
Yeah, and the faces are on their own other. Like you said, they're doing the thing with Goldust. Goldust is starting to either turn into Dustin or turn into the artist formerly known as Goldust. I know he goes through a lot of different phases. Vader, it's a wrap for Vader, and I think we all know it. It's just how it all. Like you said, weird match.
Yeah. Speaking of another weird match, it's Mankind versus Kane. When I started out back into wrestling, I thought it made sense that to have Kane destroy Mankind. But when you watch all the shows in order, you're like, wow, like Mankind, like really, and I guess maybe it does make sense because it's like Mankind gave Undertaker such trouble and Kane just destroys it. So it's Kane versus Mankind. and it's basically a squash match. This isn't Foley's best moment. I don't think it's supposed to be. I think Foley is very unselfish this match as a top guy to basically make this new guy make him look foolish and like a buffoon. And the problem though with this match, whether you like it or not, they do it under a red light. And I think that was
Yeah.
their going. That was the original plan for Kane's match that be under a red light. It makes it kind of unwatchable. Kane wins. That's the best thing to do at the moment. But I don't know. I didn't really like this match. What did you think?
I think the red light did, and it's not that they don't learn throughout history because they do it again with Sin Cara and then again with Bray Wyatt. The red light, the Fiend, the red light did not work. Then it does not work now. It really does take away from the match because there's some like hard hitting stuff in there. Like Mankind takes some blows and really helps make Kane look like a monster. But that red light is just so distracting, and I think it's just worse on the newer TVs. I can't remember how bad it was on our older TVs, but the new TVs, you're just watching this and you're like, oh, this is just an eyesore.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough to watch, and it was a bad idea. Like, but again, they're trying different things. Then they interview Vince McMahon, who said next with Sergeant Slaughter about the main event. And Vince, for the first time, he's not the announcer. This is like pretty much Mr. McMahon. He says, "I have no idea who's going to win the main event." Oh, he knows. Sergeant Slaughter says extra security in place. They
Yeah,
are saying to the audience, even though we don't know it, something's going to go down.
this
And
man is changing.
yeah, Vince does not seem like the Vince we've seen on the previous shows. I mean, certainly he seems like the Vince that we see now, but it's interesting how fast this is all changing. But yeah, a very interesting interview with Vince McMahon. What did you think of the interview with Vince?
It was interesting to see the change, and it's something I didn't notice as a kid. Just like the welcome everybody, like to guy to now to like he's the boss, and you can tell he had the boss hat on. It wasn't the Vince McMahon with the bow tie saying what a maneuver. It was like you said, it was Mr. McMahon, and the pieces they seeing it now. It seems like they were already, even though they were doing this for like a shoot, they were already playing the scenes to turn this into a storyline, not just for Mr. McMahon, but Sergeant Slaughter being in there, Gerald Briscoe. Like it was like we're gonna have this on camera and we're gonna make this work for ourselves, even after all of this is done, which
Hmm.
was smart on their part.
Yeah, no, they're setting it up, and I don't know if Brett. I think Vince knows. So I don't think Brett knows, but they're setting up the future. And very interesting interview segment. And yeah, things are rolling. Speaking of rolling, let's get to I will say, besides the Bret Hart match, this is a very nothing card. Like, there's not a lot to talk about. It's just kind of it's happening to happen. But if Bret Hart stayed with the company and just beat Shaw in a regular match, I don't know if people would talk about this show. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, but
Right.
we get the Nation of Domination versus the Legion of Doom, Ken Shamrock and Ahmed Johnson. Interesting start because Ahmed pins Farouk right away, but then Farouk screws Ahmed and they battle to the back. The New Age Outlaws get involved. But to me, this match really picks up at the end when it's Ken Shamrock and Rock basically having a singles match. You can tell that that they knew one of these guys is gonna be the guy moving forward, and I think they were still figuring out who. But these two guys, I always thought they had really good chemistry. They had a really good rivalry, and yeah, it's so funny though. It's so funny that The Rock did the Smashing Machine after his feud with Ken Shamrock. No one would have thought that in 1998. But I enjoyed the last bit of this match, and I enjoy Rock getting more and more confident every month. What did you think?
No, I feel the same way. The Rock continues to grow as a character, and it's slowly but surely it starts to become like a vehicle for him. If not this month, then next month. I think they still were hoping for Ken Shamrock to be a little bigger than he was. It just didn't turn out the way, and he did fine. I think he's the Intercontinental Champion, and he was pretty solid in the mid card, but not the moment that they thought they were gonna have with him. But it was a big, part of their feud because we see that for a couple more times. We see them fight for the Intercontinental title, King of the Ring. We see a lot of Rock Shamrock. So I think it was cool that it came down to them. I did feel bad for like Hawk that went out like so quickly. Farouk Hawk, so many people went out so fast. But it was WWE working with who they think is the future, and they think the future is Shamrock and Rock.
Do you think like Barry Windham's out right away? Um, Farouk's out, Hawk's out. They do all the elimination matches, then they do Owen Hart and Austin. Do you think they? I just realized something. Do you think like they wanted Hawk and Farouk and Barry Windham out of the building because they knew those were old school guys that might stick up for Brett and cause problems for Vince? Do you think they were like, we need to get Hawk out of this building before we do this?
It is possible. Mankind's another one. I think they wanted, yeah, they wanted as little people in the building as possible, and I think that's actually a great theory because they would have been pissed off. Somebody would have got fought, hit Triple H, Shawn Michaels, maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
like, why did Farouk lose so fast? And I'm like,
yeah,
well,
no, that is a good theory.
if you're like, hey, don't worry, you're gonna get your heat back, but then you can like, you can get on the road before the traffic. Maybe Fruit Sniper guy like, yeah, I want to hit the bar.
Yeah, no, and it's a different time. They don't have the phones. They don't have any unless somebody has a computer and goes online. They don't know what's happening to Brett. Someone has to call them and be like, "Hey, they just screwed Brett." So
Yeah,
I think that was a big part of it. I think you're absolutely right.
yeah, because by the time the match is over, Farouk probably already showered and changed because they let Ken
Yeah.
Rock just stay in that ring for like hours, and I think Ken Shamrock was on the Vince side. So if anything weird went down, I think Vince was like, I can rely on Ken. Oh no, Ken Shamrock was in the room and said, I'm not going to leave. And I forgot. So Vince McMahon goes, I need to talk to Bret Hart. And Ken Shamrock goes, no, I'll just sit here. And Vince goes, no, I need you to leave. And Ken Shamrock goes, I'm just going to sit here. And I think somebody else said to him, please leave the room. Please leave the room. But I
Whose
think
side was he on? But whose side was he on?
maybe I think he might have been on Bret because he said something like, I'm just sitting here. I just want to sit here. And because I think they knew like, and sure, imagine Ken Shamrock just breaks Vince's like fucking neck and
Hey,
loses,
that's what they were like. Please get out of here.
kills him. But yeah, like fucking yeah, he was there.
That's funny.
The other thing is like the other funny thing about this whole thing is the night before Joe Briscoe taught Shawn Michaels some real wrestling moves, and I just think it would be really funny if like Brett did get like violent in the ring and like Shawn tried to do the moves and Brett just countered them and like broke Shawn's arm
Oh yeah.
and broke his arm
Nah,
basically.
bro, has been doing this in his sleep since he's a kid. You want to try and do like a front face lock? Get out of here.
I have a theory that Gerald Briscoe's not that tough, but we have to pretend that he's tough. I that's my theory. I know like people. Oh no, he really did put people in pretzels, and everyone was scared of him. I have a theory that people just went along with that so he would feel better about himself. I don't. Oh
I
yeah,
don't know, but sure.
the moves, Gerald. That's fine, Gerald. Yeah, teach me. You're right. You're because they act like Gerald Briscoe could have just beat the shit out of the entire locker room. I don't buy it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the buffoon. He'll fucking still kick both their asses. But
Could meet him at a WrestleCon, see if he can still see if he still got it.
fucking just I just fucking punch him in the fucking face.
Oh my God. Pick, oh no, he doesn't got it. He's a hidden old man.
But he's supposed to be able to hook me.
Like the
I'll kick.
people who get paid to get the figure four on them by Greg Valentine.
By the way, you would never if somebody like Jelly Roll just beat the shit. Let's just, Jelly like some random person beat the shit out of German School. You never will win because you either like he could reverse you and then it's like and then Jelly Roll got the shit beat up by Joe Briscoe, or it's like you beat up an old man. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't do it. It's kind of why when Roman Reigns beat the Undertaker, you're like, well, now he's old. Like you didn't beat like the Undertaker. Undertaker. You just out stamina an old man. Congratulations.
All right, next up was a weird match because the crowd was into it, but I kind of felt bad. Austin Owen, it's really short. I think it's really short because Austin couldn't go yet, but they
Yeah.
pushed him back. Um, I think if Austin had played it safe, I think he would have had a longer career. He got rushed back, and it was again for the greater good. But I do think that wrestlers should, to this day, they always say I thank you for the house. I
Yeah.
think every WWF wrestler to this day should have to thank Austin for the house every single night because if he didn't rush back and put his health in jeopardy for 2 years, like he not
Yeah.
probably shouldn't have wrestled at this show, but if he didn't rush back, I don't know if John Cena would be having the big send off he's having in a few weeks. Um, he basically put his life on the line and came back way too soon, and it worked out great. But I don't think he should have been wrestling here. I did not enjoy this match. I didn't feel this joy of Austin getting his win back. It just felt like we're gonna ride this horse till it dies at this point. Now, what did you think?
Yeah, it definitely seemed like he wasn't himself. They started things early. Anvil took a stunner. I think they just needed Austin back. Even the match was kind of like extra, like almost like Owen doesn't want to hurt him, and Austin don't want to get hurt. I was surprised they almost did the tombstone spot again, but it seemed like Austin just wanted to get it done as quickly as possible, and then they did it. Austin is once again Intercontinental Champion, but I wish. With hindsight, him maybe staying out to the Royal Rumble or something would be nice, but that's just not where they were at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. And he barely wrestles. He really barely wrestles until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like back full force. And
But you still have to travel and you're sitting with your neck and you're doing all these shitty planes. Like, it's not
his
good.
with Dude Love and his matches with Kane and Undertaker are pretty good. And then The Rock. But then he kind of deteriorates really fast in the summer of '99 and then that's it for a long time. And then he has that killer 2001 where he's at back at top. It's like peaks and valleys, but uh,
Yeah.
basically borrowed time until WrestleMania 19. And it's so
Yeah.
crazy. He was at his highest.
Yeah. No, well, he still had a couple more years. I mean, people wanted to see him still on top. So he still had a couple more years where he could have been the person fighting Evolution, trying to end the Triple H reign of terror. While on SmackDown, they were building Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, he could have really been around, but I think that's also one of the reasons why he did the thing with Brock because he was like he knew like it was almost time, and I think he just left in a huff because he was pissed. He was like, I
Yeah,
can't.
he's probably in pain, yeah. I mean, on top of being in pain, he was right about that. Like, why would you give that away?
Well,
Like a free match, but
I think like first of all, it should have been for the King of the Ring tournament. That was
yeah.
fucking.
Why is he even in the King of the Ring tournament?
But I do think a random Brock Austin match because you see with Guerrero. Guerrero cost Austin the match. That I could see. That I could kind
Yeah.
of into his point. But first of all, Steve Austin, the biggest star in the world. Why is he in the King of the Ring tournament in 2001?
Yeah, exactly. No, he had a weird pay-per-view run of Scott Hall, which I know they had its reasons, and then King of the Ring, I know fighting Ric Flair, fighting the weird faction of Eddie Guerrero, Ric Flair, and Chris Benoit. Like Big Show was part of it for a second too. I don't know. He just had a lot of. It was not a good 2002 for him.
No,
The
no, it was.
abuse and all the other stuff.
And then yeah, him also beating up Deborah didn't really
Yes,
work.
that's
Uh,
the abuse. All right, this is where I will take my bathroom break. 'Cause I know we're going to talk about Montreal.
we're gonna talk about Montreal in a second, guys. I'm excited. Before we get to the big match, I just have to say that I kind of really was turned off by the reactions to basically Nixon Newell and her stupid girlfriend walked out on AEW Collision. They didn't want to. They didn't think they should lose in 3 minutes to NJ and Tay Conti. Um, and do I think that was dumb? Yes. Do I think they've hurt their career? Yeah. Do I care? No. And I do kind of, if you don't want to do something and you're under contract, I don't think you need to do anything you don't want to do. And if you want to go
Yeah,
home, fine. Don't waste my time then. But the way people have reacted to this, from the wrestlers to the fans to even the reporters from us have been like, she's had more incidents. I think it's like really, really, really disgusting. And first of all, why did you really need to? Who wanted to see this fucking match of Tegan Knox and her super untalented girlfriend versus Anna Jay and Tay Conti, who are also untalented? Who
yeah.
wanted to
I'm
see?
not saying all that, but that's so that you could say that, but yeah.
I just nobody actually wanted to see this match, bro. Like nobody cared. All right, so don't get upset that these women didn't want to lose in 3 minutes. Who cares? Also, AEW doesn't need less wrestling. If you want to go, go. There's too many people on this show anyway. Go home, fine, that's on you. But the way people are reacting, the wrestlers throwing shade, and she's made illusions about drinking. I think she might have a problem.
Yeah, that was crazy. One of her, yeah, whatever she said about being like, I'm trying to
About
get down to like 10 a month. And I was like, wait, what?
you can have 10 a week.
10 a week? I thought it was 10 a month.
No, I think you can do. She's allowed 10 a week. I
Oh
don't.
God. All right, well, let me not. We listen and we don't judge. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, she's. I think there's. I think she's got problems. You know, she was given. She was kind of positioned as someone who's going to be a future star in WWE. I don't remember. She had a documentary made about her road to recovery. Remember
Yeah,
that?
I remember.
Still on. It's still on the Peacock for now. People at the internet talked about her in glowing terms. She was kind of seen as a little darling. Um, And I don't think that the way her look is developed, I don't think that's where some of her fans wanted her look to go. Her career didn't really go anywhere. People like Becky Lynch tried, but it is what it is. It didn't work out. She got injured a lot, and fans were always very supportive of her, including me. And I like her. I think that there's a place for her before this. I think she's not really into wrestling, which is fine. I don't care. I don't need you on. I don't need you to lose to Anna Jay. But I just think the way people like shitting on her for always being injured. Like, do you understand? Like, if you're a fan going on and on about her like negatively, do you understand that you're part of the problem? You're the reason why these people are drinking and doing drugs and get depressed and fucking have like you're adding to the problems that led to Hannah taking her life in Japan. Like you are those people. Like you really are that upset that she didn't want to fucking lose that. Who gives a fuck? What do you think about this bullshit?
I think it was another one of those things, and we've seen it many, many times, especially in the past 5 years, where something comes out and it is blown so out of proportion that like I couldn't even keep up. I was like, wait, what happened? And then she's like, that didn't happen. And there's a new report. And like, that didn't happen either. And you're just like, and then everyone's reaction is so immediate and so intense and so angry
Yeah, I
that
don't get.
like, because I was confused too. I was like, oh, why would you do that? And then she was like, this is why I would do that. And I was like, all right, well, good luck. Elsewhere, maybe NWA, maybe MLW, maybe WWE will give you another opportunity. We don't know. But maybe even AEW was understanding, and then it became like a news story, and then the wrestlers came and started to defend her, not defend her, but defend AEW. Like the when I got my 3 minutes, blah 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 blah. Blah. It just it didn't help because these fans, there's a lot of parasocial relationships, and they think they're in the company, they think they're part of it, and then you attack like ruthlessly. Like you don't have to like what she did. You don't have to support her if you don't want to. But the way people like she said she got death threats and things like that. And I don't know when this shift happened. You can say it was Trump era, but it probably was even before that. People just get so irritable and disgusting about this stuff. And it wasn't just Tegan Knox. This was a couple years ago. Like Kenise Mosley, I don't know if you remember the comedian who like wrote for WWE. Mobley, yeah, who worked for WWE very briefly, and she made the critical sin of talking about it on a podcast. I'm like, well, I don't really watch wrestling, but we were learning how we were watching and learning together, and what it was a slow weekend, and
She didn't
what
know who.
culture? What
What?
happened? I didn't
JD
hear
from
you.
the said this fucking bitch doesn't know the. Yeah, yeah. He called her a fucking bitch because she didn't know Bobby Lashley was a champ. I mean,
Who called her that?
JD from New York in a
Oh
post.
yeah, see, yeah, it's just like that, and like, and then it was a slow weekend because what culture picked it up, and all these people picked it up, and I mean, she didn't need to work there, but everyone just like attacked this person that you don't even know, you don't even know the whole story, and you're just attacking these people, whether it's Tegan Knox, whether it's Jay Uso, whether it's Kenise, whether it's Chelsea Green because she beat Julia in what was scripted to do. People just go fucking crazy, and I think people need to take a look at themselves and like I hate just use the term touch grass, but touch fucking grass because like At the end of the day, these people are human, and like you wouldn't want that shit to happen to you. You probably wouldn't have like a quarter of the skin that these people have. You would not be here maybe if somebody continued to pile on you constantly for something that has nothing to really do with you.
If you don't like the place that you're working at and you don't like the plans they have for you and you don't and I don't know if she felt uncomfortable, she was just like you're entitled to be like, I'm not under contract and I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm gonna go home. That's you can make that decision. And if you don't want to be there, you shouldn't be there. What do you want to have her half-ass fucking 3 minute squashes? And it's like I also heard in her defense, I would be like, if I just lose in 3 minutes on Collision every week, it's not going to do me any good. Like, I had a name, I had somewhat of a name, I had somewhat of a fan base, and I'm losing it. I've got to figure out a way to protect myself. I don't think it's the biggest sin to be like, I don't like this idea. Maybe I should go somewhere else. I don't understand. And I remember, like, she said, this to me is the height of fan entitlement. I fucking hate you wrestling fans more than ever are part of the problem because they're almost like a Greek chorus of all the negative shit that goes in performers' heads. But um, what's her name said that's not how it happened. Tegan Knox, all she knows, and people in the were going, well, why don't you tell us how it happened? Then you should tell us how. Why should they tell you? That's between her and the person she was working with. You're not owed the fuck. I'm not owed what happened minute by minute backstage every fucking stupid wrestling show. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? If Cody Rhodes says to Triple H, "I'm not losing because I fucked your wife last night," I don't need to know that. Okay,
No.
I don't need to know that those two said that to each other. That's not my business. My business is to see a good show or a bad show, which WWF seems to keep putting on. I don't. I'm not entitled
No,
to know.
not Monday. Monday was crazy.
Oh, I didn't see Monday. I'm not
Yeah.
entitled. I'm not entitled to the goings on. It's not my business. Tegan Knox, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Triple. They don't need to tell me what they're doing at work. They don't. And it's weird that fans think that because Sean Ross Sapp, because it got leaked, it's Sean Ross Sapp that she had a disagreement. He posted it, that now they're entitled to exactly what she did when she went to AEW that day. You're not entitled to it. That's her business. With that's her business. She doesn't need to tell you anything. You know.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. We would have never known. I didn't know if it was SAP or if it was PW Insider, but whoever the website is, it isn't our business. It's not our concern. For a lot of these things, I just saw a report about they're like Stephanie McCure might face either Rhea Ripley or Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. Spoilers, and people are like up in arms about it. But like, we don't. You don't know. We
You don't
we
know.
don't know. It's November. She
He could
could.
fight Liv Morgan. Who knows what's gonna
Yeah,
happen?
that's what people want to see. Is Liv Morgan healed? Liv Morgan's not even healed yet. So why are you booking Liv Morgan in a feud where we have no idea when she's coming back? We have zero clue. Maybe she's gonna feud with Roxanne at WrestleMania. We don't know. We're still 4 months away, and based on Survivor Series, they don't really seem to be in a rush to give you a full card. But no, I think there's definitely a big entitlement problem. I think just the years of being online and being in dirt sheets and doing all that stuff has led to that. And I get these people need to make their money and off their websites and things like that. I'm not like completely anti dirt sheet, but it is just like I don't know if other fandoms are this intense because I think other fandoms get a break. Like you don't get a Star Wars movie every Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
I,
Saturday, you know?
I will say I think the wrestlers engaging so much with the fans
That
has
too.
been intense because my reaction is Tegan Knox. If people like tell me what happened when you walked out of your job the other day, would have been like, suck my fucking balls. You're a bunch of fucking losers that jerk off to my OnlyFans. I'm not fucking telling you anything. And like that's my reaction on her behalf.
Hmm.
And but I even like when Baron Corbin said something like, "That's not how it went down in WWF." And people were like being like, "No, you're wrong." Like people were yelling at Baron Corbin that he was wrong about the job he had for like way too many years, in my opinion. Here nor there. But it's like, bro, he was there. Like he was literally.
Yeah.
You're telling him that you're wrong and that's not how it is in WWE. What are you talking? The guy had to come in at 12 noon every Monday and sit in fucking catering. I think he knows how that place operates. Like, if I go to do Baron Corbin, oh, I heard Vince does this. He goes, well, actually, no, Vince would always do this. I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, fucking, he was there. So I assume I'm not gonna
Hmm.
tell fucking five people on the internet told me to. It's just the entitlement. Like it's fucking disgusting. And I really the Nixon Newell thing. Every time I was gonna watch Blood and Guts, but the more I this fucking they didn't let this thing go. The Outrunners jumped on it. Tyra Valkyrie, who by the way has been by the way, honey, don't be defending a company that's made you a forgot. I forgot you even existed, and I used to be a big fan of yours. All right, don't fucking they all
She's
dogpile.
on every Saturday.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
She is.
Uh, they all dogpile this poor fucking broad who's probably gonna drink herself to death in a year. Like, give me a fucking and then if something happens to her, no one's gonna go on the internet and be like, I'm sorry that I yelled at her. Because if you yelled at her and something happens to Nixon Newell, you had a part in it, you fucking piece of shit. The end.
No, I mean, I mean, I want nothing but the best for most wrestlers. Some maybe not, but Tegan or Nixon Newell, I was excited to see her. I was like, oh, cool, cool. She landed somewhere. I know she wanted to be somewhere, and the stuff started coming out about her girlfriend. I didn't really know about her girlfriend, and if all of that is true, what happened?
I think she's anti-trans, the girlfriend. I think. I
Yeah,
don't
which
know.
it's kind of a mess. All the stuff like MAGA, anti-trans, anti-vax, allegedly, with Tegan is very pro. Some people look past this. I don't know how you do it, but I guess that it works for them. But like I wanted to see her get the opportunity. I saw like people saying she sandbagged Megan Bain, which I don't know how true or not true that was with the German suplex. Maybe AEW was not the fit. Maybe TNA will be the fit. Maybe MLW. Maybe she need, like you said, she even said herself, she might won't wrestle for one more year and then take a break. She might just need to leave wrestling and fall back in love with it again if she wants to actually go back to it again. She might. She's still pretty young. I don't know her age, but she could still. Yeah, maybe just. I know she's been gone, but like take that real like break and like figure out what you love about it and hopefully come back strong.
To me, if I was her, this would turn me off wrestling personally. Me,
Yeah,
because
she's only 30 years old.
comedy, we have trolls, whatever. I'm not. Me and you aren't fucking like a bunch of trolls told us we sucked and we should kill ourselves on our YouTube videos. We're not gonna go into the stand and like throw our bodies through a flaming table, right? For
Mm.
there, like in wrestling, if all these people are telling you are being just awful to you, and you're like, yeah, I gotta go and fall on my neck to please these people, and they're basically telling me what a piece of shit I am
Yeah,
in AEW. I would just never. I would just wouldn't wrestle. It's like fucking Will Ospreay's gonna be in a wheelchair for these people. Why do I want to go down that road if they're gonna talk to you like this? Based
it's
on a
also the it's also the yeah based on a rumor. It's also the internet. The internet. I know everyone tries to downplay, but it's not everybody. I'm sure she'll go to like a building and people be like, oh yeah, they'd be like really excited to see her. Same thing with us doing comedy. Maybe we get a clip that gets like 12 views, and you're like, I will never do this again. But then you have a set, and like the entire crowd really likes you. They're talking to you after the show. They want to follow along with you. So some of that internet stuff is just so amplified and makes and puts the most negativity in your body and in your brain because it's all you see. It's a constant stream of it. But it's also not like Dave Chappelle once said, the internet's not a real place. So, and it's true, but it is still hurtful and it still can be a very powerful tool, positively or negatively. I just hope mentally she's doing all right. I think a little more wherever she goes next. I hope it works out professionalism wise too, because it did seem like a weird thing to do and a way to like burn a bridge. But what do I know? You know, I was not there that night.
oh, well, listen, I wasn't there, but I know everything, and she was in the right. Anyway,
You also don't like any AEW fan. Anything they say, I think you like think the opposite.
react like this, it makes me not want to support the company. It's just like I'm sorry, like the AEW fans have done more damage to me trying to like just give that company a shot than even anything else. It's just deeply, deeply unlikable. Anyway,
It was
uh,
Alvarez, right, that said like the sickos, we gotta let other people in so they can grow or something like that.
yeah, they're never going to do that. They're never. They're just. Here's the thing too. Like this is the other funny thing. All these vocal people, these really bad, these really like lunatics, like even like JD from New York.
Hmm.
could go full fucking kiddie show with his booking. These people are never leaving. They're never going to stop watching. You can do whatever you want. And you don't need to appeal to them. You need to appeal to people like me who constantly get turned off by shit where people are like wanting to fucking Tegan Knox to die because she don't want to lose this idiot Anna Jay who has not gotten better in 5 years. Still
I
stink.
don't feel, I don't think handshake got anything to do with it. Just besides being part of the opponent.
I
She
know,
didn't
but
say anything, right? Neither her or Ty Mello said anything.
she didn't say anything. And Anna Jay's too busy trying to figure out how to wrestle, so she can't talk.
Fat ass. Remember that was the gimmick for a while.
Yeah, it was that with the okay. It's okay. Hey, listen, when AEW objectifies women, it's okay because Tony Khan is so wholesome and sweet. So anyway, all right, let's end it. Let's end it. Let's get to the main
Mr.
event.
Wholesome Sweet Montreal Screwjob.
Let's get to the main event. Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels. Now, look, there are moments where there's moments where okay, everything changes. I think one of the biggest ones is Hogan Iron Sheik at the Garden. This
Mm,
is a moment where the final Nitro is another moment. This was a moment you can feel it when the match starts. Everything changes from here on out. Everything,
hmm
and it to me, this is the end of the new generation, and this is the start of the Attitude Era. This match. This is the violent fucking shutting down of the new generation and the happy-go-lucky '90s bullshit. It's like get the fuck out of here. I've got a war to win, and we're gonna do it with Austin. I love them walking to the ring with that music. Both guys have great entrances. And this match, the one thing people don't talk about a lot of this match, this was a great match. These two guys, maybe they didn't like each other. They put on a fucking hell of a match. And when you consider that Shawn knows that he's gonna fucking ruin this guy's life, and the fear in his mind, like, what if Bret knows and because Bret could just do something and just break his fucking leg, right?
Yeah.
Bret could just like break his fucking neck. And Brad is so good he could play it to Vince like I slipped. I didn't mean to do that. Like you have to put your body in this guy's hands who you're going to basically ruin this guy's life in like 20 minutes from now. And the fact that these two, they're such pros and they're so good and they put on a great match. Even when the screw job happens in this match, I was so invested that I was like, "Oh, I wait, can you give me 5 more minutes before you put on the show?" I'm enjoying what you guys are doing. There's the other thing. This is such a better match than the Iron Man match. They should have been having matches like this. This should have been like their fifth pay-per-view match since WrestleMania 12. This is the type of wrestling they're meant to do. This brawling, scientific, fantastic match. Before we get to the actual screw job, what is in the match in general?
it's definitely, I guess if I had to rank the three, this would be number two. I really like 92 when they were
Yeah,
first starting out. So it would be this one. It would be 92, 97, and then of course,
Iron
uh, the Iron Man match, which does not age well. But an honorable mention to the ladder match from 92 as well, which is somewhere either on the Vault or the network or something like that. Or Peacock, I mean. No, I really like this match. I like that they brawled. What happened?
It's on Smack 'em Whack 'em.
Yeah,
The
smack him,
college.
whack him. Yes, Coliseum on video. I really like that they brawled. I like that it wasn't like immediately a tie up. Not to just shit on Triple H. Um, I remember WrestleMania 2009, WrestleMania 25. Triple H and Randy Orton started off their match with like the pedigree and RKO, which was like cool. And then they like had like a regular match when it was supposed to be a blood feud. And even though this match didn't have any blood, there are certain things that you want a blood feud brawl, and this was one of them. And they absolutely succeeded at that up until the end, where everything goes haywire. Because you could tell these two don't like each other. Why are they initially going to start off with like headlocks? Like they want to beat the shit out of each other. They've wanted to for months, and they're finally getting to. And then you can get into some of the actual wrestling moves when the bell rings, and then what happens happens.
The thing about these two guys is you're right. They don't do blood. They don't bleed out. They don't hit each other with syringes. They don't break a concrete. But it's so much more believable that these two hate each other compared to Swerve and Hangman. Like
I mean,
they're
I wasn't gonna say all that, but sure.
well, actually, well, because also these two actually really do hate each other. Where I
Yes,
don't.
they did.
Um, so here comes the finish. So at one point, Vince McMahon's out in the ringside, so he's there. In the back, Bulldog, Jim Neidhart, and Bruce Pritchard are waiting for the cue. Bruce Pritchard claims he didn't know. And I believe that he didn't know because I think Vince knew the guy's so fucking stupid, he's going to blow it.
Say something, yeah.
Undertaker's there. Undertaker was not booked for the card, but he's just there. And he sits in Gorilla right before this match, which Bruce Pritchard.
Hmm.
Undertaker claims he just came to hang out because he wanted to watch the show. He had nothing going on. Um,
He had no spot, so he came to
I
hang
don't
at the
buy.
club.
I think Vince told him. So they're having their match. Shawn Michaels, Earl gets the ref bump, and I think Shawn Michaels gets him in the sharpshooter, and I think that's when the Hart Foundation and Triple H and China run out. I think that's what's supposed to happen.
Hmm.
The second the sharpshooter gets up, Earl Hebner stops selling and goes, ring the fucking bell, and
Yep.
runs out. Shawn gets out of the ring. Triple H is there. Gerald Briscoe's there. Gerald Briscoe, I didn't notice until this time watching it, looks pissed and looks like we have to get the fuck. He looks like a guy who just robbed the bank. And he is like that is how you look when you're trying to get away from the cops. You're the way he
Yeah.
has his head down. He's just pulling Shawn Michaels forward. I don't think Shawn Michaels is happy. I think he's pissed that he had to do this.
Well,
Um,
that's how it looked.
I also think Shawn thinks but I think for Shawn, this is the thing. This could have backfired. But what well we know the Harris brothers. Remember, he's in a locker room with a bunch of people who could fight. They love Bret Hart, and these are drug addicted maniacs. For all we know, the Harris brothers could knock down his hotel door and fucking beat the shit out of him. The Godwins could have like something could have happened because this guy basically he broke the trust of the boys, and Vince had
Hmm.
made there could be somebody in the back waiting to fuck him up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think he's also pissed that he's nervous and pissed that he's in this position because this could lead to real life consequences because people were not happy with him. Bruce
Yeah.
was not happy with him, and so it's fucking. I remember Bruce Pritchard said he Vince McMahon said, "I know you're upset to Bruce Pritchard. I know you're upset at Shawn, but think about it. Shawn Michaels did that for you. He did that for your family. He did that for my
Oh,
family."
God. Yeah, I heard about that.
It takes a lot of balls to put yourself out there like Shawn did. So you can't be mad at him. You should be mad at me and tell me to go fuck myself because I put and I think he told all the boys that. Like I put,
Yeah.
but still, Shawn's a bitch, and it's just a weird position because it's real. Suddenly,
Yeah.
that's real. It's not fake anymore, and he
No,
can't.
you went from the bikers and the metalheads to like something that real. This is really, really happening.
Yeah, this is really happening. Like you really screwed me. So Bret Hart gets up, spits in Vince McMahon's face.
Hmm.
Now, the stuff where he writes WCW in the sky, in the air, and destroys the monitor is, I think they show it on Raw, and it's on the VHS. It's not on this version. It ends, like, they just go right off the air.
Yeah.
Uh, in the back, they confront one another. Bret Hart, Vince McMahon goes, you get one punch. Bret Hart takes the punch. Gives,
14 years, as he has said.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, anytime he talks about it, he's like 14 years. He talks about like he throws the most beautiful uppercut, like Dark Side of the Ring and things like that. The most beautiful uppercut. And he's like, all I was thinking when I was grabbed him was 14 years. And then, bro, he's told the story multiple times. And then he knocks out Vince McMahon.
I think Vince McMahon said they got Bruce and Joe Briscoe and everyone together. He goes, and Shane, let's go in there. He gets one, he doesn't get two. It's what he told.
Mhm.
I don't know what be funny if he just beats shit out of Triple H and Joe Briscoe. To me, the biggest moment and the moment that I still think about to this day, and I think it's coming. I've been saying it for years. Since the podcast started. To me, the most haunting moment in this entire thing is Triple H lying to Julia Hart's face.
Yeah.
The guy knew nothing about it. And she goes, and he has his head down. And again, he also looks like a criminal. And she goes, you swear to God all you want, but one day God's going to strike you down. and I still think that day is going to come. I think when Triple H is let go of WWF or when he passes away, and I don't mean it, I don't mean to pass away. I think it's going to be him getting fired. He's going to leave in disgrace. I think God is still going to strike this guy down. I think she put a curse on him, and he is just playing in. He's playing in the face. I don't. I see a downfall. What goes around is going to come around on him. I don't know when, but he basically is like standing on a mountain, begging for it, begging for it nowadays.
I
And
mean, he's pretty much almost died, so I think he might have gotten it already.
I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be chased out of WWF. I think he knows more about Grant than letting on.
I think if all of that goes into litigation and actually goes to the trial, then I think yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna be in trouble.
Moment with him and her, that to me is the biggest moment of Montreal. More so than the because it's this woman being like, "You all hurt my husband,
Yeah.
and you've hurt this family, and it's gonna come back around on you. You can't just randomly fuck with people the way you people want to fuck with people. You know?
No, I mean there's definitely karma. I mean Shawn, you can say Shawn Michaels' karma was that he lost his career for 4 years,
Mhm.
almost lost his family, and then he turned around, found God. Depending on who you ask, he still was not the greatest person. Sometimes he was, sometimes he wasn't. But he
You
hmm?
you know something about Shawn Michaels? I thought about this the other day. So he retired to spend more time with his kids, right?
Yeah.
Kids
Well, he's
were
also like hurt. Oh, in 2010.
his kids were like 8 or 9 when he decided to
Yeah.
go. Have we ever seen a picture of his kids lately, or the wife, or that wife?
I
Like the
probably
kids are
like documentaries. I don't think they yeah, I don't really think there's photos of them.
funny. You know, how come? I know this sounds weird. How come Shawn Michaels' kids don't want to wrestle? Like,
They see their dad, I guess. They don't want to be like him.
something I think my theory is that he doesn't have a family anymore. I'm not saying they died, but I'm saying like,
No. I mean that would suck. I think he could be a late bloomer like Sting's sons like took a while. Sting's sons took a while before they wanted to start wrestling and now they're starting to wrestle. One looks just like Sting.
mm.
So who knows? If Shawn
Dan,
Michaels AJ Styles kids don't want to wrestle, Chris Jericho's kids don't want to wrestle. Maybe it's just something about that like generation of children, the Gen Z uh
Jericho's kids
legacies. They saw what?
what happened to Kylie Ray, and they're like, "No, we're good."
Yes, yes. But yeah, they don't know. I don't think that's what they want to do. Or it's something that's in their like back pocket that like if whatever falls out, they know they can get a performance center. If they're athletes, they can get a performance center or next in line NIL opportunity because you're Chris Jericho's son. But who knows? I remember Gage Goldberg won the wrestle and who knows? I think
Oh,
Goldberg is mad at them.
that's, that's still coming. He's still young. That's still coming.
Yeah. Mark Henry's kid. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I mean, we have a bunch of nepo babies running around Raw and SmackDown. I know Leah Mysterio got in the ring, but
Wrestling, wrestling's the only place I like nepo babies because they excel. The right nepo baby excels in wrestling.
yeah, not all of them. David
Mhm.
Flair, unfortunately, and some other people. But no, this whole thing is just it's unfortunate, but like I said, it's a canon event. It needed to happen the way it happened for the WWE to be what it is now. Because you couldn't like if Bret Hart got his way, as much as I still am on Bret's side, if Bret Hart got his way and lost to Stone Cold, what does that do to WrestleMania 14? If he lost to Undertaker, again, what does that do to WrestleMania 14? Mankind, Dude Love, unless you had somebody in the back pocket, like you said, we're talking to a Hulk Hogan or something like that. And Bret Hart losing to Hulk Hogan would just, would be heartbreaking. Um, yeah, I don't know what else you do. There's nothing else you can really do. It just had to happen that way.
I think Bret Hart made, and I think this is the world. I think that giving in to punch Vince in that moment, I think that led to a lot of bad karma for him. I don't think you should be above these people and be like, I'm not going to hit you because like you're just a pathetic human being. Like what you did was pathetic, and I know you want me to hit you, so you can be like, "Oh, I let you hit me." Like I just feel like that was giving you basically were giving in to like you were playing their game and you let them
I
manipulate
mean,
your.
but if you're in that situation and you get a chance to punch, like if you got screwed over hard by a booker and you had the opportunity to punch him in the face, in that moment, would you not want to punch them in the face?
Um. Yeah. Well, I don't know because I feel like that. I feel like Vince wanted him to punch him. Like I feel like Vince.
Oh,
I don't think Vince went that route being like, "Please don't punch me." He wanted him to punch him and be like, "See, this guy takes it way too seriously." You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I don't think he thought he was gonna get the punch that he got. I think he thought he was gonna get like a punch and be like, ah, see, I'm fine, whatever. And he got rocked, and we saw him limping away.
I think that. I think that it was like a Emperor Palpatine moment. Strike me down. I'll become more powerful than you imagine. And Bret Hart, like, yeah, like, oh, you're the Emperor. I get to kill you. Everyone would be like, yeah, of course you should kill him. But if he did, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I
If,
know.
if he did, he's giving in to the evil. And that's
Yeah.
what he gave in to evil.
No, I
Um,
mean, yeah, I mean, I would have taken the punch, so maybe I would have been in the same position. But I've heard, I remember one of the documentaries came on, like Samsung TV has a WWE Rivals and biography channel, and the Bret Hart documentary came on. They had his daughter talking, Jade, talking about like she saw like tears in his eyes, like on the plane home. And a couple days afterwards, even he went to like a meet and greet with a fan and signed the Montreal ticket just because he didn't want to let that fan down. Bret Hart was somebody that just had a lot of integrity. And I think he expected that same integrity from other people, which is something I can relate to. And someone as close as Vince McMahon, he expected more, and he just did not get that. And he got it in the worst way from Vince. And that really damaged him, not just from that there, but then just for the rest of his wrestling career, mentally at least.
yeah. So, and then the other thing I think that also with him was WCW just didn't work out. It was just a disaster.
No. They should have figured out ECW. If he like came to the ECW and like fucked up Taz and Shane Douglas,
I'm not going to
with
wrestle.
no, he's not going extreme, but he's just like fighting the guys, and then you kind of get the best of both worlds because WWE's still working with ECW. But
Yeah. But you never know. If maybe Vince
I,
would have no to no,
yeah,
because Heyman was always his bitch. So, um,
hindsight's 2020.
it's a sad moment because it's like Bret Hart, like he just never really recovers from this. It's never like,
No,
and then I had a second life is this character. It's just like it's just like he did screw job and he goes to WCW and they treat him like shit and then he has a stroke and he retires and
yeah,
um, I feel bad. I feel bad, but
no, he gets his redemption. WWE booked redemption 10 years later. In a match, I won't say good or bad, against Vince McMahon, and that is
they fucked that up.
it was just Brett in jean shorts beating the shit out of him. But it's just it sucks. It just sucks for somebody who is considered to be one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. It sucks to be put in that position and just never recover. I know that's another point of contention with him and Goldberg because Goldberg got a second chance and a third chance. Shawn Michaels did too, and like he doesn't get that, and it's not fair. And it's just kind of one of those lessons about how unfair life can be. I know it's from pro wrestling, but how unfair life can be sometimes. But I do want to put some positive spin on Brett. He seems like his outside of this moment and the other sad ones. He lives a good life with his wife. He loves his kids. His kids have grandma. Like he has a full life. We just only know because people talk about Montreal and Goldberg to him all the time. But every time I see Brett outside of that, he has a very full life. This year in New York, he was just celebrated by Kaz of the Ringer podcast and things like that. So it's not all doom and gloom for Brett, but this moment definitely sucks.
Yeah, ruined his life and Kyle's life.
Positive spins. There's some
Yeah,
positivity there.
no,
And a
it's the
hot black
positive.
wife.
Here's the positive. 2 years from now, Vince is a billionaire, so it all worked out.
Yes. There's and we are all watching the WWF in 1999 and not a lot of WCW.
Thank you, Brett. All right. Overall, I would say watch the show, and I'll tell you why. Because this is a moment, this is a night that changes everything, and I think it's important to like watch these nights, especially while they're still available on the network. So I say watch the show. Is it a good show? No, but it's an important one. It's an important moment in time. What do you think?
No, I think you should watch it. I think, like you said, it was literally the end of the new generation. A lot of people debate when the Attitude Era began and when it closes, but you can say that the new generation era stops here. Like it just stops. It is done.
And it's
It's over.
over. But I'll tell you, but you know what? The show must go on. So next week, let's go over the next 4 weeks. Next week, it's World War III. It's the World War III Battle Royal again, the third Battle Royal. World War III three. Well, so World War III six. I don't know, but it's the third Battle Royal. Then in 2 weeks, it's ECW November to Remember. Shane Douglas versus Bam Bam Bigelow. In 3 weeks, it's D Generation X in your house with Ken Shamrock versus Shawn Michaels, and then in 4 weeks. WCW's version of Screwjob. Their moment where it's so funny, like a month apart, these companies just go like it's like they split in the road. I've never seen this event in full, but one of the most controversial matches in wrestling history: Hulk Hogan versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus Sting, Starcade '97. Another historic night. We've got a lot of fucking things ahead.
Oh yeah. I mean, I tried to start World War Three. I'm gonna get to it, but that's always like Glacier and Ernest Miller against the Barbarian and the Mang, and I was like, okay, you know what? Not today. So I'm not very thrilled already, but hopefully that'll pick up.
Yeah, I hope so too. Okay, good. Yeah, that is a dude. The first two battle royals that I've seen are fucking horrible. They're really bad. So they're really bad battle royals. The fucking
Yeah, I know the world, the ring, and all that.
worst
I, I
matches.
I used to really like them as a kid, the idea of them, but I don't know how they age now. Like I said, the
They,
one that I hated before is when you got eliminated underneath the ring. You know, like the second one, I was like, no, you throw them over the top rope. There was one where you can go underneath or through the middle when you were eliminated.
yeah.
I
So,
was like,
but yeah.
that's stupid.
So that's next week. Kyle, do you have anything to plug before we get out of here?
November 22nd, Character Select Comedy back at the stand for the 9 year anniversary show. We have lineups. I already can't remember who I booked on the own show. Nina Carufa is on it. She's a very, very lovely person. Tata Sharice as well. It got me pulling it up on my own computer here. I can't even remember. Onika McLean, Katie Boyle, uh, Chris Black, James Tom. A lot of great comics, a lot of great New York comics. So please come hang out with us for the 9 year anniversary show. You're gonna love it.
I will give you the goods guarantee that it's good. And guys, if you want to, please subscribe, leave us a review, leave us a comment, do something. Tell your friends about this show. We have a great time doing it. I can't believe that I've covered every pay-per-view from Stark 83 to Survivor Series 97. That is a fucking era and a half of
It's
pay-per-views.
awesome.
And I hopefully the archives are saved and we can keep going down this road because I do enjoy watching these pay-per-views and watching all the wrestlers evolve, and devolve in the case of like the Legion of Doom and shit. So, you know, it's
Like
having a
the TW. Have you ever played those wrestling sims like Extreme Warfare or Total Extreme Warfare or EWR?
I did EWR for a little bit, yes.
Yeah, they still go on. They're still TEW now, and I play them every now and then because if I once I get really into them, I'm like this for weeks, and like you can't take me off of it. And then I just like go cold turkey. It's like the only thing I go cold turkey on. But
Okay.
they they have that because in the mods, like some of the people, like the stamina, people's stamina reserves like drop like tremendously. So when you mentioned that with the Legion of Doom, that just kind of reminded me, like, all right, like you could be playing March of '96, and for whatever reason, Hawk, I guess because of the drug alcohol stats, his stamina is like a 12, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? You can't even put him in matches. So it's just like you watch them devolve, like you said. You can watch them devolve in the game. It does not help you if you hire them,
Well, that's Hawk. He's devolving. He's still devolving. He died. So, all right, guys.
unfortunately.
Happy screw job. We will see you next time for World War III. Thank you so much for listening. See you then.